Hello and welcome back to the stream of the 2023 Sydney International Piano Competition. And I'm very happy to welcome now, to have a little chat with us, another semi-finalist, Jeonghwan Kim. Thank you very much for finding some time. How are you feeling after all of that playing? It's such a big program, isn't it? Eh?
It is, yeah. It is such a massive program to prepare. And I feel a lot relieved after. I was so happy after playing the final note, and I was just thinking about that I have completed all the solo pieces. Now I can finally concentrate on chamber work and concertos.
Okay, so you like playing chamber music, obviously, in that case, yes? Yeah.
Yes, I really do like playing chamber music. I also have a trio. With whom I play regularly in Berlin also.
Right.
And it's such a joy. It's something other than being alone in practice rooms, but like having some conversations, also on instruments.
Yeah, of course. It's underestimated how lonely the life of a concert pianist is, isn't it? You know, there are a lot of them around the world that travel around and do things, and it's just them and the orchestra sometimes. But chamber music allows you to, have something else and to have, not only musical conversations, but also other conversations. Yes. So what is your chamber music group?
Oh, it's quite fresh. It's called, we actually haven't decided on the name yet.
Okay, that doesn't matter.
We have a name. It's Trio Miel. We're studying all three of us at Hans Eisler School in Berlin.
In Berlin,
yes.
Yeah. So we're both Berliners. We both live there. You and I. We just discovered that. So is as in it's a piano trio, as in cello and violinist. Join you. Yeah, it's really quite amazing how many young Korean musicians are also in Berlin. It's really quite fascinating wonderful musicians and wonderful singers.
Yes.
There's a whole mixture, and there's a lot of interest, particularly in early music in Korea. Is my impression of what I've discovered. Is that the case with?
In Korea, back in the 2000s and 2010s, or even 1990s, I think there was a trend of the parents to let their children go to some piano academy after school, so they would just not hang around at home, but have some work to do.
Yeah,
and was quite popular, and piano is also quite a popular instrument in Korea. And figures like Song Jin-cho or Yoon Chan-lim are quite popular and famous in Korea, really famous. And I think this also has to do with all the enthusiasm with this instrument and many people wanting to learn to play the piano.
Because they've also organized events, haven't they? Festivals and all sorts of things in their name, and they bring people in. And yes, it's very, very, very interesting. Yeah. And quite a few Koreans, of course, are also in Berlin as well.
Yes, there are so many famous Koreans also living in Berlin. I was going on the street and I just saw Song Jin-cho hanging out, and other people also.
Yeah, terrific. But what about your first impressions of Australia? Is this your first time here?
Yes, it's my first time also in the Southern Hemisphere.
So okay.
I actually brought some winter stuff and so but it's not that cold here, I realized. But in Berlin you don't see often those tall buildings, and also you miss the beach and ocean. But here you have it all, so it's kind of amazing view for me, and I would definitely like to stay here.
You like it that much?
Yeah.
That's good to hear. That's very, very good to hear. So Bach, Chopin, and Messiaen made up your program. Tell us about how you put those three together. I mean, how are they connected?
They're not connected in the literal way, but Bach, almost everything he wrote has some connection with Christianity, and Messiaen also was highly religious.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
And I found it interesting how those two really different composers approached their religious beliefs and expressed it in their music. So this fugue by Bach I played, it's also taken from a cantata and highly religious music. And Bach is more on the ground, it's happening on the ground. It's more stable and more powerful. And Messiaen is just like an uplift. And it's called, the piece played was L'Esprit de Joie, Regard de l'Esprit de Joie. And it's so fascinating. And I was just taken by the idea to begin from the ground to end going up to the sky.
Wow. Yeah.
And Chopin in between, just to I don't know. I just like Chopin.
Because say the main meal, yes. Yeah, so
Yes.
yeah, so exactly. Yeah, no, of course. And what pianist doesn't like
Yeah.
Chopin? Yeah, it's not possible to not know. You spend a lot of time designing your programs. Do you think a lot about that, or has the this aspect of the competition sort of perhaps given you a bit more of an opportunity to think about how pieces fit together and work together?
Yeah, before this competition, I didn't think that much, I think. But this competition made me actually think and reflect and think about programming and searching for pieces. I also discovered new pieces by searching by thinking of many pieces, and I think this should be also done in maybe other competitions because I feel like most of the people are just playing what they are having currently in their repertoire, but to be able to explore and to think about what you're playing and also as a whole, and think about the impression you'll make with this program. I think this is a great opportunity.
Indeed, indeed it is. Of course, one of those new pieces in your repertoire is by an Australian composer called Broken Threads. We've actually been talking to him as well. Tell us about your experience of discovering that, because it's quite a challenging piece, isn't it? Yes, and
It is,
and needs
yeah.
a lot of stamina.
Yes. So there was a list of Australian works
Indeed.
on the website, and I was scrolling through, and I was actually not. I couldn't actually decide until I found this work. I immediately wanted to work on that because it has this 12-tone system,
Right.
which is freely applied with this and this sound language. The harmonies are so original. I've never heard like that before in any other pieces, and it was so convincing looking at the score, and I just had the feeling that I could really work on that and make it really vivid.
Yeah, Mark Granderson's piece, of course. Was this your first encounter with an Australian piece of music, by an Australian composer?
Yeah, I've known some pieces by this famous composer Carl Wein,
Of course,
but
yeah.
he was the second one, and I'm really positively amazed by the quality of this piece.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear. What about chamber music for you? You said before you're so happy about moving into this aspect of the competition now and working with someone. Do you know what pieces you're going to play for the chamber music round?
Yes, I'll be playing the cello sonata by Chopin, Frédéric Chopin.
Some more Chopin for you there, so
Yes.
you're happy?
Yes. So this is a fairly difficult work for both pianist and cellist because you have to do rubati at the same time. You have to have same imagination or similar one, and it has also some balance issues. But I just really adore this work, and I just had the rehearsal yesterday, and the cellist was so fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, it's sort of if you meet a great musician and you sit down to play chamber music with them, I guess it's not about the conversations, it's the communication that
Yes.
happens on another level, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that somehow also helps you feel a little less lonely, doesn't
Yes,
it?
yes.
Because you're creating this thing
Yeah.
together. True. What about Korean composers? Are there any around that we should be listening out for?
There I really like the works by Eun Suk-jin, the female composer.
Of course, yeah.
And some works by Lee Sang-yoon I also quite like.
Also has a Berlin connection, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
And apart from them, I occasionally listen to younger generations, and a lot of my friends are actually also Korean, so I listen to their works and get fascinated. And I used to also compose back a few years.
All right.
But now I've realized that I wanted to focus more on piano and
performance. Yeah.
Yes.
What are the trends happening within Korean music? Is there a certain sort of style or certain aspect of the music coming through that you think you see in your generation of composers?
The people I know, personally know, they all have such different styles and different approach. So I think it's actually hard to say whether there is a direction in music or not. But I think there is a definitely preferred one in Korea. Yeah.
We move along, hopefully you move into the finals, okay? So that we move into the finals, of course, next week. And you've put down Mozart, E-flat major, number 22, but also Bartók Concerto.
Yes.
Wonderful piece as well, isn't it? You know?
Yes.
Tell us about why you chose that, why that appeals to you so much.
Well, I first heard this piece, this Bartók Concerto, when I was maybe 15, 16. And at that time, I wasn't listening to modern music at all. But this piece has I was just fascinated by it, and immediately wanted to play it. But sadly, other competitions don't offer this Bartók Concerto. And when I saw this here, it was no...
You didn't have to think about it.
I didn't have to think about
Bartók for me.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
It's nice. Yes, all those interesting, challenging rhythms and harmonies and things. It's wonderful orchestrations as well. Who's watching at home? Your parents and fans and professors, and you've got some people following you?
Well, actually, I only told my closest friends and family because I was worried that I wouldn't pass the first round.
Okay.
It would be a little
But you have now.
Well,
Yes.
no, yeah. But I think I'm gonna tell more people when I pass the semifinal.
Well, okay. So we hope so. Yeah. So that's fair enough as well. My last question that I've been asking everybody today, and is to sort of talk about what does it mean to be a musician for you today? You know, the world we live in and all the big sort of questions that we are facing. What does it mean for you to be a musician? What do you see your role as?
Musician for me is quite everything, but foremost a messenger of those music on sheet papers that has to be heard, and delivered, and also musicians are somehow politically active. I think in their performances and their styles, and it is sad that more and more less people are enjoying classical music, but I hope that when I get to the finals or when I do some concerts here and there, I hope to connect myself with lots of people and to let them experience what I experience during I play, and
It's very nice. Well, we wish you all the very best. Yeah, we have our fingers crossed, or as the Germans say, we're pushing our thumbs. Drücken die Daumen. Yeah, toi, and all of those sort of things. Thank you, Jeonghwan Kim, who is one of the semi-finalists in this year's Sydney International Piano Competition. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.